Hello, my name is Denise Macklin. I moved into my apartment a few years ago, and I really literally believe that people are trying to drive me nuts. I just want to share with you some of the ways that they did it, including gang stalking. So, I don't know how many other people that this happened to, but I do know for sure it's happened to me. This is not all of the stuff that happened. I had a list, and some kind of way the list disappeared, so I just had to try to rewrite another one fast so I can still get my message across. This is what happened to me. That made me irritated, made me angry, and made me upset. And that's usually what gang stalkers do. They want to prove that some kind of way something is wrong with you to justify their actions toward you. This gang stalking group started off, looked like a small group, maybe about 40, 50 people, maybe more than that. But I'm just going to say what I was seeing following me around before I even moved here. And I'm going to go just name some of the things. On the first day that I moved to my address, the particular address I'm at now, I was robbed of some of the boxes that I left in the apartment because I had to leave out and make a run. I did see some people in the area sometimes wearing my clothing. Let me make that clear. I have a visual impairment, and I think this is one of the reasons they try to do this. I have a visual impairment. Also, I am over my 60s, I'll say that. And they have utilized ways to try to tear my life apart if they could. So I just wanted to share this with y'all. I'm going to go on a little further. Someone put brown junk on my mattresses. When I came in, my mattress didn't have brown stuff on it. But I come in one day and I'm looking at my mattress and I'm trying to figure out where does this stuff come from. One of the things that gang stalkers do when they want to get you put somewhere and collect a check off of you is they got to try to say that you got dementia, you see now, or something like that. So they can't say that if you're acting normal and doing normal things. So what they have to do is stress you out, do all kind of stuff to you so that it seems that you're doing abnormal things and that you need some assistance, that you need some help. So any kind of way that they can agitate you or aggravate you, that's what they do. The next thing, they bring in here some kind of stinky, skunky smelling spray, and they spray it around when I'm gone. So that when I come in, my apartment has these fumes that are horrible. Sometimes in my bathroom, in my kitchen, in my living room, on my rug. Sometimes in my bedroom, you'll smell this smell. And they mess with my food too. And one of the ways I found out they mess with my food was that when I would eat, it would put a lot of thick stuff on my teeth immediately after I would eat. Another thing was there was a smell to the food. Another thing was sometimes it would look like mold would be sitting on food I just got from the grocery store. And it was fresh and it was fine, but there would be mold from whatever they put on it. Another thing would be that the food would have a real stink smell within the next day or so. And I mean fuming out the refrigerator within the next day or so after I went grocery shopping. Another thing they would do would come in here many and many, many times and steal my food, steal my seasonings, steal my cleaning supplies. They stole a lot of stuff, including my clothes and stuff. But I'm going to get into more detail later. I just want to go through these things. So another thing is, when I would clean my rug, they would come back in and pour dirty, muddy water on it so that the rug is no longer clean, but it looks dirty, dingy and dirty. And one person made a statement on YouTube about how people would bring grave dirt and pour it on your floor. I don't know, but I'm just saying that it looked like it was dirty, like somebody poured muddy water or something on it. The next thing, they came in and they damaged my walls. For what reason, I do not know. Not only did they damage the walls by writing on the walls, but they wrote real high, too tall for some of it for me to reach. They wrote on the walls, they wrote little, I don't know what it is, like little scribbles of stuff on the wall. They drew lines on some of the walls. They put dirt on the walls. Sometimes they put, I don't know what that stuff is on the wall. And it's thick and it's filmy on the walls, and this is just part of their way of agitating me. I believe my air conditioner was changed to another air conditioner. My air conditioner worked very well. Anytime they need something new, anytime they need to move something somewhere else, they just come and take it from me. I ain't saying they don't do that to other people. I'm just saying that they have done it to me many a times. My chair was changed for another chair. My tables was changed for other tables. My stoves was exchanged for other stoves. My refrigerator was exchanged for other refrigerators. My daughter brought me a brand new microwave. They stole my microwave. This is the third microwave. I had my microwave my daughter bought me. They stole that. Then they turned around and gave me another microwave. Took that back, then turned around and gave me another microwave. Both the two microwaves that they put in here after that were smaller than my original microwave. I bought a vacuum cleaner. They stole my vacuum cleaner, replaced it with another vacuum cleaner that was broke. My chairs. I bought chairs from, I think it was Menards or one of those places. Must have been Menards. And my chairs were sturdy, good chairs. I got flimsy chairs now. Now I'm going to go back into, and some of it I think got rust on it. My table was gray. My table got like a whitish greenish color, but my table was originally gray, like a whitish grayish color when I bought it from the store. I bought two of them, but on the day I was trying to move one of them, I don't know what happened to it. Let me go to the next thing. Not only, like I said, were they stealing my food, they were putting stuff in my food to make me sick. And if I go have a blood test or anything now, I'm sure they'll find the toxins from this going on, because truly it was. And still it has been continuing going on. They have stolen my cleaning products and tried to replace my Dawn dishwashing liquid with some garbage, and it's not even the same color. They have taken my just a whole bunch of other stuff. Just when they want to take it, and now they got to the point where they're replacing it with water and with other substances in the spray bottles. They have taken my washcloths, taken my towels, taken even my panties, taken my clothes, and even when they steal the clothes, because I reported it, what they started doing was sewing clothes on the machine to look like my clothes, and they thought that I wouldn't know the difference. But I'm a person who likes soft clothes. My name is Denise. I'm a girl, completely 200,000% woman. And these people have stolen my clothes, go back and sew some clothes, make some clothes similar to them, and bring them to me, and think that my vision is so bad I can't tell by touching and looking at my clothes that that's not my clothes. But they've done it. Going to the next thing. I reported it to my landlord. I reported it to the police. I reported these things that was going on. My door getting egged. Somebody coming up to my door and boom, hitting it loud. Somebody standing outside my apartment. The gang stalker things that's been going on. Nobody does anything about anything. Then they tell me I ought to tell their security people. And again, I say, nobody does anything about anything. When I reported it, they said, well, nobody has the keys but us in the office, you and the maintenance people. I said, then you need to talk to your maintenance people, because my stuff been disappearing. Somebody been going in there. If we're the only ones with the keys, then they have to be giving somebody a key. But I'm going to leave that alone. Because like I said, nothing good came out of none of it. Okay. Then I reported, stuff was put in my food. I said that in my drink, the water and stuff I was drinking. They was opening the bottles of water and resealing, and they do have a way to do that. They take a penny and put it at the top. I wouldn't have known unless somebody said it on YouTube. Put it at the top and get it hot, and it will cause the thing to seal again. They take and they open the food, and sometimes when they putting stuff in it or whatever, when they reseal it, you're going to see lumps where it used to be just a flat part when they sealed it. Now it's lumpy lumps because they were in it. So if that's happening to you, that's how you'll know. Money was stolen from me, including my rent was stolen from me. Nothing was reimbursed to me. It was just stolen. Glasses were stolen from me. Clothing, like I said, of all types was stolen from me. Nobody feels any remorse. Nobody feels like anything was wrong. I do writings. I'm a Christian. And I write down different scriptures, and I do Bible studies, and I do different things, and I do studies on Hebrew words and things like that. There's a constant of every time I write and I do stuff, they come in every now and again and clean out everything I wrote. Next thing you know, they're on YouTube preaching it. They're on YouTube reading it like it was God gave it to them. Oh yeah, I want to bust them out. They take it to their churches and they do it like it was God giving it to them. And you can ask me how? Because y'all got regular YouTube. Ain't no regular YouTube over here. This thing is set up for these people around here to be able to tap into this thing and use it as they will. So even when you think you're communicating to the outside, you're not actually communicating to the outside. But I know how to do it. I ain't telling them, but I do know how to get it to the outside. They take your phones, and if you got those little things in your phone, you know that you save stuff on, your information. I can't tell you how many times mine been stolen. I can't tell you how many times my hard drive been stolen. I can't tell you how many times my like I said, the phones itself was stolen. Not only that, they use computers to tap into your phone. When they tap into your phone, this is how they stealing from your bank accounts. This is how they ordering things through your Instacart and different things like that. They tap into your phone and through it through a computer system. You know your TVs a lot of times are computer systems. So when they tap into your TV and connect themselves to your TV then is able to connect themselves to your phone. I just want you to know, because it's probably happening to a lot of people, and they cannot explain to anybody what's really going on. So I'm telling you what's really going on. When you go to the phone companies, sometimes they're giving them keyed in information to get into your phones they're not supposed to have. But a few dollars go a long way. I'm going to leave that alone. They mess up your floors. They come in here, spill stuff, put stuff on the floor. They put stuff on the walls. It's to irritate you when you cleaning up, so you have to come in and clean up those things again. It's an irritant. They want you to look like you crazy. They want you to feel like you crazy. When they get all through, they want you to feel like you got dementia, you got Alzheimer's, you got something. And that's not true. When they get through frustrating you, you might walk down the street talking to yourself. You might do a lot of different things. There's things now I do I didn't do when I came. But it's things now that I do because of the frustration. But I'm learning to get over it since I know what they're doing. I'm learning to get over it. So I'm not doing it as much no more. Now, they trade off your things, one thing for another. Like I said, the microwave was traded off for another. They got me a brand new stove up in here. They came and traded that off for another. They got, instead of having a bottom metal part, it's got some kind of cushiony paper stuff under there with some silver cellophane looking stuff around it. But I had a real stove. And even when they gave me the real nice stove, they took the bottom from under where you have your little things you slide in and told me they was keeping that. And I asked them why. I said, am I not supposed to get the whole stove? They took it with them. The refrigerator is giving off some kind of gas that goes into the food too. I don't know what it is, but it's giving off a gas. And that's one of the reasons why the food is spoiling so fast too. I said the table and stuff. My television. They had my television and traded my television for another television. How you know your television was traded for another television? Every television comes in with a key number to it. So it might say 4999 or something like that, or 3574 or something like that. So that when the thing brings up on the phone and they want you to tap your television into the phone or something like that, it will have a number. Well, that number for me keeps changing. It kept changing over and over again because people were seeing my TV, come in and switch my TV off and take my TV to their house, leave another TV for somebody to switch off and utilize as a computer system. Yes, they were. My cabinets was changed for other cabinets and the drawers of the cabinets for other drawers. My dishes were stolen. My silverware was stolen. When I bought new pots and pans, somebody came and scratched it up. I don't know if it was with a knife or a fork. Just scratched it all up. My pots and pans were stolen, etc. I bought a brand new fan. When I bought it in here, it could blow 25 feet. I came back one day, wasn't blowing 10. I don't even know if it blew more than 5 to 7 feet. I mentioned the vacuum cleaner. I mentioned the microwave. My art supplies been stolen. My paintings that I did, a lot of them got stolen. Somebody who wants it to be believed that they are me, who saw my stuff on internet when I make my internet things, have stolen my stuff and have run with it, trying to pretend to be me. But she gonna be caught and she gonna go to jail. In the name of Jesus, I decree and declare it, and all of them working with her will be caught and go to jail too, and serve their time. When I wash my rugs, when I clean my rugs, they come back in here and they dirty my rugs. They doing identity theft on me and then sending me messages like, you better watch your credit, you better watch your credit. Because like I said, they stuff is all over here. It's not nowhere else. But just in case there's some people over here that are good people, I want them to know what's going on around them. They have messed with my vitamins. My vitamins was winding up stinking real bad. They have messed with my vitamins. They have stolen some of my vitamins. They have stolen my soap and my supplies from my body. They have stolen my soap, my washing powder soap. They have watered stuff down. They have, I bought a big container. It was a big tall container for like in the summer if you go on a picnic and you want a tall jug of fresh water. I bought a tall jug like that. I go in and I got another jug smaller than that. They might think to themselves, that's only one person. But it's still mine. It's still mine. And that was for when me and my family decided to go somewhere for a picnic and we want fresh water. That wasn't for somebody to come and take. Seasonings tampered with. My seasonings a lot of times will get clotted where it's just real thick clot instead of being where you can pour it out. And some of it have an unfamiliar smell to it. My jewelry was taken, and some of the jewelry was not actually taken but dug out. They dug the stuff out of it. My mail has been stolen just about since I've been here. I don't get my mail. And they defend my ex who totally did domestic violence. I'm not going to go into the domestic violence, but did very bad domestic violence on me. And from the beginning, they've been trying to protect and defend him. So a lot of this stuff is to get back at me for him. But he was supposed to have passed away, and then they denied me access to getting the stuff that I was supposed to get when he died. Not only that, I was trying to do a lawsuit and they switched my phone, so my phone information they couldn't make phone calls back and forth with me, but they're getting the phone calls somewhere. And other things that belong to me that I was supposed to get, they have been stealing. Even my Medicare information, even my Medicare stuff. One of them went on ahead up to the public aid office and told them that they wanted to add another person to the public aid, and it wasn't me. This is what they do. I have Section 8. I don't believe I'm using my Section 8. I believe they stole it and got somebody else using my Section 8. But every time I try to call and get help because they got their computers hooked up to my phone, it goes to them instead of the places it's supposed to go to. They real good at exchanging stuff, but you're not usually getting exchanged what you're supposed to get. I bought a lot of markers and pens and stuff because I like to do art. I come back here one day to go use my stuff, and my stuff is all dried out. I just bought this stuff. It's not all dried out. They stole it and put that in its place. Why? Because they was hoping they could drive me nuts. But I want America to see how nuts they try to drive you. Some of these people's in these homes, let me explain it to you. I got kidnapped one time by these people. I went to the hospital because at the time I was moving, I was trying to get my stuff in a storage. I was trying to get some things done, and my wallet was stolen from me. When my wallet was stolen, I was upset because I'm like, oh my God, I'm in between a rock and a hard place now because I got to do the storage. I got to do this, that, and the other. And thank God I had took some cash out. So I took the cash. I had the cash in my pocket and I used it for my storage and everything. And I used it, to pay, not the storage, to pay for the people that was moving my stuff to the storage. After I get the people moving my stuff to the storage, I go and I'm overwhelmed because a whole lot of stuff happened in a short time. So I go over by the bank and I'm at the bank trying to tell them what happened and they couldn't give me access to my money. So I called the hospital and I tell them I'm on my way there. And I said, I'm trying to get a doctor, maybe a counselor. I said, because I'm just overwhelmed. I said, and I need some help. And so the people said, well, okay. Come, you can come. And they said, but come in the ambulance. And I said, why should I take an ambulance? They said it'd just be better. It would get you here faster. You'll be safer. And I said, well, okay. So I called the ambulance and I went to the hospital. So I told them I just wanted to come and see if it's possible y'all can give me the phone number or sign me up with a counselor. I would like somebody to talk to. So the people signed me up, told me this, to stay sit on this bed and they would get back to me. So I'm sitting on this bed in the hallway for hours and hours and hours while doctors is running here and running there. Then I get a call from somebody who say they're a social worker. So I said, okay, so I'm talking to the lady. She said, well, tomorrow morning we're going to have you evaluated just so we could see how much help you need. I said, well, okay. She said, but we got to send you somewhere. I said, send me where? She said, to a place in Ashawaka or something. I said, okay. I said, where's that at? She said, it's about 2 hours away. I think she said 2 hours. I said, I ain't going no 2 hours. Why would I go 2 hours away? There's doctors all over the place out here. Why would I go 2 hours? Well, this is where we got this at. So I said, well, okay. I said, how am I getting home? She said, we're going to bring you right back. I said, okay. So I get in this ambulance and I take this little ride. And I get in this ride and it takes me to a house, not to the place that's on the picture on the internet, a house. I said, what am I doing here? This is where we're supposed to bring you. I said, no, you ain't supposed to bring me here. They said, yeah, this is where I said, no, you ain't supposed to bring me here. Then the girl said, well, let us go see. So they went up to the door and then they came back. Oh, we got to take you somewhere else. So they take me to this other place in this wooded area, deep in this wooded area. And you pass by all this water and stuff and you go back. And it's a little bitty building in the midst of all these woods. And I go to this place and I get in this place in the middle of these woods. And I talk to these people and I ask these people, what am I doing here? And the people say, oh, this is where you're supposed to go. I said, no, the place they told me about, I can show you the picture of it on the internet. This is not that place. I said, what, y'all kidnapping me or something? And so the people said, no, this is where you're supposed to go. So then I'm sitting in the place and they tell me I got to take somebody else's medication. I said, I don't take medication. So they said, no, you got to take it. I said, I ain't even been evaluating. How you going to give me a medication and I ain't supposed to take a medication? Then so the people said to me, well, you got to take it if you want to leave. I got to take somebody else's medication in order to leave here? Yeah, you got to take it in order to leave. So I started praying. I said, God, whatever's in this medication, don't let it hurt me. Don't let it mess me up. Whatever's in this medication. Then while I'm sitting there, I'm asking the people, I need something to do. Give me a pencil, a crayon, something I can write and maybe do something because we just sitting here staring at walls. That's all we did all day was stare at walls. People really didn't talk to each other. They just stared at the walls. So I'm sitting up here like, y'all don't have no TV or nothing. Oh, the TV is down. I said, well, if the TV is down, y'all supposed to have social workers coming in here to do something with these people. They're not supposed to be staring at walls all day. So then I started up a little Bible study. And I started doing Bible study with the people. And I was going back and forth to my room to pray. Then I would do the Bible study. Then I would sit around and I'd try to talk to people. After a while, they had a social worker come in. So the social worker brought in puzzles and things like that. And the social worker was sitting around talking to people and stuff, trying to do something. These girls came in. This is when my paperwork got changed. These girls came in giggling and laughing, and they in the office saying what they going to do to somebody. And that somebody was me, and I did not know it. But I heard them. They changed my records on purpose. And I'm sitting out there, and I don't know it's me till I get ready to go, till after I go. I'll go and I'm talking to the people, and they said somebody is coming in to see you. I said, who coming in to see me? They said, a doctor. So I said, okay. So a doctor came in to see me. I said, so what's happening? He said, I don't think you need to be here. I said, I didn't think so neither. He said, well, okay. And so then they said, when it got close to the time for me to leave, this girl told me that, you know, they're not going to let you go. I said, why are they not going to let me go? She said, anybody they get in here, they try to keep. They don't try to let you go. She said, you're not going to go. I said, I got God. I'm going to leave up out of here. I said, sure enough, as my name is what it is. I'm going to leave up out of here. And so they said, no. And so I was talking to the people. I said, y'all don't know. I said, I called the FBI before I came up in here. I said, I called them and talked to them about this. They said, you did what? I said, I called the FBI. I said, so whatever is whatever, when they come looking for me, they going to find you and everything else y'all got up in here too. Them people like, you going home on Friday. I said, I know I am. I know I am. So the people said, and I wasn't lying either. I wasn't lying. And so I said, when Friday came, the girl said, watch. No, Thursday. I think it was Thursday. The girl said, watch. It's going to come and you're not going to go. It's going to come and you're not going to go. I said, well, I'm going to go. I said, I plead the blood of Jesus against that. I'm going to leave up out of here when it's time for me to go. So what they did was, the lady came the day before, Wednesday. And she said, somebody need to come and look at you and evaluate you again. And I said, I don't need another evaluation. She said, well, they just going to come and look at you. So these guys came in with some white guys, and they stood up against the wall and just looked. That's all they did. They stood up against the wall and they just looked. And after a while, the lady came to me and said, we might need to keep you a little longer. I said, look, you better let me go home when I'm supposed to go home. I said, now today, I was supposed to go that Thursday. Today I'm supposed to go. And y'all said y'all needed somebody to see me. I said, tomorrow I better be out of here. If I don't be out of here by tomorrow, it's gonna be something that's going to happen here. It's going to be something that's going to happen here. Now, while I was there, they was trying to do the same thing they trying to do now, frustrate me. So what they did was have one of their ladies that was sitting in the room that was there for this reason to come up to me to tell me they all knew about me for years, and they had set up a thing where they were going to kill me, kill my children, and then she did her hand to reference my grandchildren, the heights of my grandchildren. She said, we are going to kill all of y'all. And I said, God resurrects the dead. And she said, did you hear what I said? We're going to kill all of you. I said, God resurrects the dead. I said, but when you die, who going to resurrect you? Then I said, and if you ain't got it where you can go to take my streets of gold away, you can turn over the crystal streets and pour it out, and you can tear down my mansion. Baby, if I got to go, I got to go. And I meant it to. If I got to go, I got to go. But y'all not keep me up in here. And I told the people, I said, you better get her. Because listen now, I'm going to leave that alone. I wasn't going to hit her, though. I wasn't going to touch her. But I'm going to leave that alone, because I ain't no fake Christian. I ain't no fake child of God. I ain't no fake part of Israel. I ain't no fake one. All I would have had to do was say a few words, and God would have took care of her. But I'm going to go a little further. There was identity theft being done. Oh, I didn't get to the part when I left. So that next day, they told me it's time for you to leave. And I said, cool, fine. They give me my paperwork, and I tell them I want to go straight home, not to no house. They said, no, you're going straight home. I said, fine. I get in the car, and they told the Uber man, make sure she get directly to her house. We watching on the camera. She has to get directly to where she wants to go. Nowhere else. He like, no, I ain't taking her nowhere else. They said, we watching you on the camera. I got all the way back to my destination. Opened that paper, and it had somebody else named Rose on it. And what Rose did. So really, at the time when all of this was taking place, Rose was supposed to take my identity, and I was supposed to take the identity of Rose. This was through Ingalls Hospital. I ain't gonna call it nothing else, and I don't care if Ingalls Hospital don't like it. It was done through Ingalls Hospital in Calumet City, no, in Harvey, Illinois. Now, these people follow me around in their cars, trying to scare me. Follow me when I go up into the restaurants, trying to scare me. Follow me when I go into the stores. Then they hold their phones up like they talking to somebody so they can talk about me, so I can hear them talking about me. Because they hoping that they could drive me nuts. Let me go a little further. Like I told you about my clothes. They'll take the clothes, they'll make something else, and then they'll switch it for the other thing. Sometimes the materials that they switch it for is not the same, most of the time, not the same materials. They don't always do it the same way. Some of them not real good at sewing. So they sewing up stuff and they sewing it up wrong. And I buy soft clothes because I'm a woman and I like soft clothes. But when they get through with them, they are not soft clothes. They came and was stealing my light bulbs. Whatever they run out of, that's what they come looking for. They have taken my toilet paper. They have taken my toothpaste. They have taken my soap. They have taken my deodorant. They have taken my... Oh, I do oils. I do like mixed peppermint oil, olive oil, coconut oil with other stuff, those things, Vaseline and stuff like that. And they've been coming and stealing those. So I create something, but they steal it. I create something, but they steal it. I create something, but they steal it. They have spread lies about me, garbage about me, defamation of character. They have come into my bathroom and they have poured stuff in my bathroom that have such a stinky stink smell. Put stuff in my fridge that have such a stinky stink smell. They have put stuff on my clothes. They have put, like I said, stolen my light bulbs, and then they changed all my light bulbs for yellow bulbs. Some of y'all that might be into darkness might know what that's for. Like I said, they stole money from me. They stole my phones. They have been on my computer and stole my little hard drives and stole my stuff out of my computer. They have stole stuff off of my link card. They have stole stuff off. They have tried to break in my door, and I contacted my landlord and them, the people over the office, and they haven't come here to fix it. Although they said somebody was. My door was egged. Somebody bumped into my door real hard one night. Somebody came in here while I was asleep, and I heard them, and I got up to walk out to find them. When I walked to my door and I looked out the door, I couldn't see nobody, but I heard somebody banging on the door upstairs, up above me. Like I said, they stole my paintings and my artwork and my art supplies and things like that. Some of my grandchildren's toys and stuff. They come in and out at their leisure when I leave. Sometimes I have come home, my lights was on, I had my lights off. Sometimes my oven have a horrible smell and stuff at the bottom of my oven like somebody was cooking something. Sometimes the smell in here is like some kind of drug smell. But they also have a route that they make that same drug smell come in through something that's in the bedroom. It's supposed to be a thing for if the house catch on fire, it spurts out water. But no, they send a fume through that. They send a fume through the bathroom, and over in the kitchen area, they send a fume too. And it smells like paint and perfume. That's what it smells like. And then it's another smell that's worse than that. that particular other smell is not really a strong smell, but it makes you sleepy. During the time that I have been made sleepy like that, at a few points in time, it was like I had been touched by somebody. Let me put it in a nice way. The wrong way, not just touch, but you know what I mean. A lot of the things that they try to tell me is in their little YouTube around here is that you need to get a job, you need to go to work, you need to get a job, you need to go to work. The Social Security gonna find out about you and stuff like that. But I don't have to worry about that. I just don't have to worry about that because I'm right, I'm legal. They just not. Okay, and the reason being is because they don't want nobody to find out that they using my stuff. See, if I was working or something, they would say this to the Section 8 people. Listen, they will still be using my Section 8. They've been using it for almost 2 years. So they'll say that that's the person that always had the Section 8. This is the picture of the person when they lived at so-and-so address. So that they can keep that lie going continuously. They want me to get a job and say, you're no longer on Section 8, so they could use my Section 8. You're no longer on this, so they could use it. You're no longer on that, so they could use it. But they just thieves and robbers. That's all. They tried to say I wasn't on Medicare either. Tried to go in the hospital, same hospital. Tried to tell me, oh, you no longer have a Medicare number. This is your new number. And I called the Medicare people while I was at the hospital and say, we ain't give you no new number. Like again, I said, they was protecting my husband who had did that domestic violence so that he wouldn't have to pay nothing or do nothing because of what he did. And he knew I was disabled when he was doing that stuff to me. He knew. Ain't nothing no surprise. He knew I was disabled when they were stealing my mail and giving it to him. He knew. And they set me up so that when my wallet was stolen, I couldn't get no assistance, no help. And so when I went to the thing, I ain't gonna say how I got the assistance. When I went to the thing, how do they know I don't got any information to prove who I am? And I'm standing outside the building. Oh, you can't come in here. Why come I can't come in here? You don't have any information to prove who you are. I say, yes, I do. No, you don't. I say, yes, I do. At the DMV. Then when I prove who I am, the people at the DMV, the other guy say, oh, I got this. I got this. The person put my address wrong. Instead of saying holiday, they said holiday. So that when I would go try to use my ID and stuff, people wouldn't agree that it was the right ID. They tried to do that more than once. They tried to stop me more than once from having identification. They tried to stop me from being able to get my Social Security card. They tried to stop me from being able to prove who I was to get help. They tried to stop me any route of getting a place to stay. Not only that, check this out. So one day, I go, hope this is still going. Yes, it is. One day I go to get assistance, to get help from the domestic violence people. And these people tell me that the Ingles give me a little card. We don't have domestic violence people coming in here no more, but we got a card for you, somebody you can call. I'll call the number on there, and these people send me to a creepy hotel. I'll go to the hotel. Nobody is at the hotel, but there's two people in the front desk, one man sitting in the chair at the side. All of the place looked empty, totally empty. Then I see one girl with or a man, I forget which one, pushing one of them little carts, them little square carts, going into the elevator. I'll go up to the floor that they give me. They don't even have a door really you could lock, just a thing you could pull to the side that if somebody wanted to get into, they can get into. So I'm sitting there and I'm saying, Lord, how am I going to protect myself? And I'm sitting in the little room, and I'm in the little room, and I'm saying, oh my God, I'm in this place. I don't know what this is. Ain't no people nowhere. And then while I'm in my little room, I can hear people whispering on the other side of the wall. But they gave me a room that got a door to it that's connected to another room. So it was a setup. God told me exactly what to do. And that's exactly what I did to protect myself. They couldn't get in that room. Then I waited for the call from the people. I got a call from the people. And I told the people about what was going on. And the people said, that's all right, I'll be there at 9. The lady will be there at 9 o'clock in the morning. So when the lady came, the lady was trying to convince me to go downstairs and eat. But again, I say, there's nobody around this building. So she said, you want to go right now? I said, nope, I don't want to go right now because I didn't feel right. In my spirit, I felt like I should have left at 6 o'clock that morning. That's what I felt like in my spirit. I should have left at 6 o'clock that morning. Now, when she leaves, I get up later to go downstairs. And I go downstairs and there is nothing down there. But I had already called for my Uber. There was no smell of food. No smell of nothing. Just a few little, what do they call them little things? Those, that you get the blueberry muffins. A few little muffins behind the case. That's it. That's it. I said, okay, so something ain't right. And I see somebody else come through with one of those little carts, one of those little square carts. I'll go back up the elevator because I know my ride about to be there in a few minutes. I'll come right back down with all my stuff. I'll go to the desk and I say I'm ready to leave. So I'll go to the desk and I get in the thing. And then when I'm ready to leave, there's the Uber pulling up. But it's one of their Ubers that's pulling up. Because the guy is asking me about finances. And then the guy tells me this, you could always go dance for the money or something. You know, they got people that dance for money and things like that. You could always do that. I said, no, I can't. I'm not dancing for nothing. I said, I'm a Christian. I'm saved. I don't do that kind of stuff. See, I happen to believe that Christians are Israel too. The Bible said we was engrafted into the family. We were engrafted in through God. So now we are the children of God. So now we don't have to be sitting there fighting over who is Israel and who is not Israel. If you're engrafted into the family of God, you are the family of God. So I'm standing there and I'm looking at the man. Sitting there riding home looking at the man like, what kind of stuff is this? What kind of stuff is this? But I'm going to end this here. And I'm going to say this. They try to tap into everything you got. And they have people that go to school and they have people that get jobs at places that are there so that when people, they signal them or call them on the phone and tell them to go and work with, they come to you to settle your stuff and tell you whatever they want them to tell you. It's not right. I just want you to know so you never have to be confused. Yes, it is real. No, you're not crazy. Oh, and another thing, those nursing homes peoples I was talking about, some of those people was in there just because they had a stomach ache. Not because nothing about them was crazy. They were transferred just like I was with no problem, but locked up so somebody else could take on possibility their identity. God bless you. Have a good day. Just making sure somebody know. And maybe that somebody today is you.